Yes, sir, we back at it like some other flipping crack addicts. And this time, we're going to be looking at the NBA first round draft results and giving our instant reactions. Overall, it was a great draft cycle. It was a great draft night. It was a great draft party for us Jazz fans. Not only for us Jazz fans, however, it was a great draft night for a bunch of for the whole NBA for everybody. I think I think everybody made great moves. A couple nights ago, the Miami Heat ended up trading Giannis. I think that was big time for them as well. Or ended trading up for Giannis. That was big time for them, and that made it to where Milwaukee ended up getting more draft capital. Yeah, let's just dive into the picks one by one, or yeah, let's just dive into the picks and see how we feel about them. The top three picks basically fell like how we all initially thought how they were gonna fall. AJ at one, the Wizards. I mean, they recently extended Trey Young, so it was one of those things where like Darren Peterson wasn't gonna go there. Um, yeah, shout out to the Wizards, man. They made moves in the trade deadline, and now they're ready to compete. I'm happy for AJ DeBonta, BYU. I'm from Utah. I live here in Utah, and it's one of those things where it would have been awesome to keep him here, but it's like shout out to him. He's ready to go out there to Washington and help those boys compete. At two, just made a video. The Utah Jazz, us Utah, us Jazz. We ended up drafting Darren Peterson, and in my mock draft, I had Cam Boozer going too. I didn't know what to think about Darren Peterson's. I guess like how his season went last year, but talking to a bunch of fans at the draft party, hearing a bunch of different things that has been coming out via the Jazz doctors. If the Jazz doctors say that Darren Peterson is ready to rock and roll, I mean I know his game is gonna be there, if not even better. So I mean, looking at his previous accomplishments, I mean Darren Peterson is the most complete player of the draft. He is out of the top three. I think he's the best defender. He's the best scorer. Maybe he's not the best facilitator. Um, I think that for the Utah Jazz, he does fit nicely at that two position or in that opposite guard position next to Keontae George. And now us Utah Jazz, we're ready to compete right next to the Washington Wizards. Same as the Washington Wizards, we also made trade deadline moves. We traded for Jaren Jackson Jr. and that ended up paying out. Now we'll have a potential starting lineup of Keontae George, Darren Peterson, Lauri Markkinen, um, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Walker Kessler. Hopefully Walker Kessler stays, and hopefully, and then we'll end up bringing Arias Ace Baisley off the bench. But that's another combination like Darren Peterson and Ace Bailey for the next 5 to 10 years is going to be a deadly combination. Um, Number three, the Memphis Grizzlies end up taking Cam Boozer. Love him to death, Cam Boozer. That's the most Grizzlies guy on the of the draft. If not, Caleb Wilson. That's a great pick. And then the Chicago ends up taking Caleb Wilson. Like the top four went exactly how we thought. And then I think five is really where the draft started. But I think it was a consensus that the Lakers were gonna take Keaton Wagler. I had a bunch of people telling me that, or I was hearing that the Clippers should have taken Darius Akov, but I doubt that they were gonna take a smaller guard. That ever since they had ended up trading for Darius Garland, so the Keaton Wagler pick made total sense, and I'm happy for Keaton Wagler. Prior to this last season, he was outside of the top 100 ranked recruits or ranked players. So shout out to Keaton Wagler. He's a top five pick. Going on to the sixth pick of the draft, Mikael Brown Jr. goes to the Nets. I honestly thought the Nets were going to take Darius Akov Jr. I believe ACC ball, right? He played in Arkansas ACC. Um, I honestly thought he was gonna go to the Brooklyn Nets. Uh, Outside of Pistol Pete Maravich, nobody had averaged a double double in points or a 20 point, 10 assists in the ACC, if I'm correct. And Darius Akov did that. And Mikel Brown Jr., I love Mikel Brown Jr., but it's like one of those experimental picks. I think that's a great pickup as well, but it's just like, I think that Darius Akov Jr. is one of those guys as well. I also seen the possibility where he would have just flamed out. And no, they the point guards went back to back to back, or the guards went back to back to back. Keon Wagler went to the Clippers. Mikel Brown Jr. went to the Nets. The Kings ended up taking Darius Akov. I don't know how I feel about the Kings taking Darius Akov. I don't know how his that's a good pick for the Kings. I just don't know how his career is going to transpire with the Kings. I think he's a great fit for the Kings. His personality is a great fit. Um, he's a great player, mind you. He's very young, but it's one of those things where the Kings are just not a very competent organization, and they just keep getting talent, and it's one of those things where they're just gonna run his career into the ground, and I feel bad for Darius. Um, at 8, the Atlanta Hawks took Kingston Flemings, and I thought this was one of those picks where they could have took a a big. I thought they could have took Ade Mara. I thought they could have took Morris Johnson. I thought they could have took Hans Steinbeck. Maybe not Hans Steinbeck. I thought that was a little rich. I was very high on Ade Mara and Morris Johnson, the Michigan boys. Kingston Flemings to Atlanta makes total sense to me, though they do need a guard. CJ is starting to get up there in age. Dyson Daniels isn't really able to find a shot for himself, and Kingston is exactly what they needed. 9, the Dallas Mavericks ended up taking Morris Johnson. Yeah, they ended up signing Coach Day. They coached Morris Johnson this past season, so it was only fitting that he took one of his Michigan boys. Three of his Michigan boys ended up going at that 9 through 12, so it was just one of those boys who's gonna go with him, and he ended up selecting, or they ended up selecting Morris Johnson over Yaxel Lenneborg and Ade Mora, and I honestly thought that the more fitting move was to get Ade Mora, and ended up trading Derek Lively. Morris Johnson, however, ends up going to the Dallas Mavericks. Morris Johnson, great player, going on to the Milwaukee Bucks at 10. Braden Burris ends up going to the Milwaukee Bucks. Braden Burris, great player, winning player. Um, I'm happy for the Milwaukee Bucks. They were able to end the Giannis saga. They're able to move on from that, and they're on to a new saga. Hopefully, Braden Burris is able to help them lead on and lead and build, and hopefully be a cornerstone piece for them. At 11, the Golden State Warriors end up drafting Yaxel Lendenborg. I think this was another one of those no-brainer picks, like the top 4 picks, where like if Yaxel Lendeborg was at the, or like 11 and 12 are one of those like no brainers, where like if Yaxel was there and a Daymara were there, those Golden State and OKC Thunder were gonna draft both of them. Uh, Yaxel Lendeborg is older in age. He's exactly what they need. He's um, an overall player. He's complete. I seen a comparison that's funny, but it makes sense. Like a Dominican, I think Dominican LeBron James. Um, so like yeah, the Golden State Warriors, if they're not able to acquire LeBron James, they're gonna have Yaxel and Bork, right? And the OKC Thunder end up acquiring a Daymara. Man, what is there not to say about a Daymara? Like this is one of my prospects. Ade Mora is a super big center. He's a 7'3" jumbo center, but he is super nimble. He's super agile. Um, he's super crafty with the ball. He's super like he knows how to play make with the ball. Um, and OKC Thunder needed somebody like that after this disappointing, well, not disappointing, but after this conference finals loss to the Spurs, who have Wemby. Wemby's a monster, and Wemby was able to bully Chet, so they need some more backup, and I believe what's Isaiah Hartenstein's contract may be up this offseason, so they just need more replacements for that. 13, the Miami Heat ended up drafting Nate Ament, but they traded the draft rights to Milwaukee, so it was really Milwaukee who drafted Nate Ament. I was happy for this pick as well, with how the Milwaukee Bucks need more talent as well, and Nate Ament, I mean, he's a player full of potential. He didn't have the greatest start to his collegiate career, but towards the end, he was starting to get the hang of things, and I think that in Milwaukee, he'll have time to develop and blossom into the player he needs to be, and hopefully, him and Braden Burris can be cornerstones for Milwaukee's next page past Giannis. Hans Steinbeck heading to Charlotte. I mean, I'm happy for Charlotte. They're getting more bigs. Um, I think that. I mean, yeah, they needed more bigs. I think they have their 1, 2, and 3, and Lamelo, Concanipo and Braden or no and Brandon Miller figured out. I don't know if Miles Bridges is gonna be there for the long term. I don't know if Musa Diabate is gonna be there for the long term. I know they love Musa Diabate. I don't know if they really love Miles Bridges, but Hans Steinbeck is gonna be there to replace them. I know they have Ryan Cockburn and he had a really solid rookie campaign. But I like that pickup for them as well. Dalen Swain, a really big defensive wing. I actually wanted to see his size, 6'7", 211. Yes, Dalen Swain heading to the Chicago Bulls. They have him listed at a forward. I think he plays more like a guard type build. He's heading to the Chicago Bulls, and I'm happy for the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls are actually starting to turn the page. They ended up picking up Caleb Wilson and Dalen Swain. Dalen Swain and Caleb Wilson are defensive minded players. Their IQs are high, and I'm happy that the Chicago Bulls are starting to pick up players like this. Hopefully, this also helps them turn the page on that. And then I think that the Memphis Grizzlies, the OKC Thunder, and the Detroit Pistons were involved in a three-team trade. Let me start off with the Memphis Grizzlies first. Um, so Bennett Sturts, so the Memphis Grizzlies ended up trading Bennett Sturts, who or ended up selecting Bennett Sturts, who was later traded to the OKC Thunder. Great player, high IQ, a little older in age, but you can never go wrong with ball handlers, facilitators like that. Ibuka Okori, another great player traded to Detroit via Memphis. And like Detroit needs more facilitators like that. They need more ball handlers like that. I'm not mad at that. And then down at 21, the Detroit Pistons ended up drafting Kareem Lopez, who was traded to Memphis. I think Memphis are very analytical, and well, Memphis and OKC are very analytical, and I think that's why they ended up both selecting um, Egbuka and Kareem Lopez. Kareem Lopez is a bigger player. Kareem Lopez is, I believe, the first Mexican-born player drafted in the first round. Yo, shout out Kareem Lopez. Um, Three-team trade. I think the one that really got the best of this one was honestly the OKC Thunder. I'm happy that Bennett Sturts is going into a position where he's getting to win early because he is on the older side. I'm happy, and another winner is Kareem Lopez. I'm happy that Kareem Lopez is going to the Memphis Grizzlies where he's getting the opportunity to develop. And honestly, I think they all got what they really wanted because Egbuka Okori is going to the Detroit Pistons, where the Detroit Pistons are going to be able to use exactly what Ibuka Okori is able to offer in facilitating. You know, heading down to the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets ended up drafting Christian Anderson. Great pick. Not too much to say on that. Just a great overall pick out of Texas Tech. The Toronto Raptors ended up selecting Allen Graves. Alan Gray. I mean, the Toronto Raptors have been selecting a lot of have been heavy in the analytics when the draft process is coming around, and I think Alan Graves it shows in Alan Graves and in their last pick in Colin Murray Boyles. Um, I think this is gonna be a great pick. I think it's gonna help their defense. I think Alan Graves is coming out of St. John's, so St. John's players are always produced, are always winners. Um, the San Antonio. That's a great pick for them. Next pick coming up, the 20th overall pick via the San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs ended up picking Jaden Quainitz. This is a pick for me that I thought was waiting to happen, and I am shocked that he fell all the way to 20. Jaden Quinance going to the San Antonio Spurs, giving the Spurs another big to rely on. The Spurs needed a big, and Jaden Quinance fell to them at 20. I am very happy that the Spurs were able to pick up Jaden Quinance. Jaden, let's look at his measurables. He's 6'9". It doesn't say his wingspan. He Jaden Quinance, I know he's 6'9", but I know he has like a monster wingspan. I don't know if it's 7 plus, 7 foot plus. He's a great defender. That's basically what they need. Um, he's a different type of defender, like Dan Wemby. He's like a Draymond Green type of defender, Draymond Green type build, where he's a little stockier, but he has those enormous arms. And the fact that the Spurs were able to draft that player, Jaden Quainance, like I'm happy. Um, going past the Krim Lopez, the Philadelphia 76ers were able to draft LeBaron Philon. This is like one of those things where like I have like a stick to pick with. I have a bone to pick with the Philadelphia 76ers. Cause they know how to draft, man. They know how to pick out these players, man. LeBaron Philon is a great player. This is another player that I thought like, man, he should have gone earlier. But it's like one of those things, man. Like for example, Jared McCain. Jared McCain was a great player for them not that long ago, and you end up trading him for pennies on the dollar. What's his name? Julian Champagny. One of the Champagny brothers was on the Sixers, and you end up letting him go to sign Mac McClung to perform in the dunk contest. Like, brother, are you that money hungry that you're not like wanting to develop these pieces? LeBaron Philon is gonna be a great piece. I just think like, man, like what could have been like the Sixers? What could have been like with this Joel? Like imagine if it's just Tyrese Maxey, VJ Ashcombe, Julian Champagny, Jared McCain, and now LeBaron Philon, Paul George, um, all around Joel Embiid. Like Joel Embiid isn't getting any younger, man. He's not getting any healthier. Like these are great guards. Honestly, if I was like, this is a great, this is a great player. I don't know if I would have picked them if I was the Sixers. Honestly, I would have picked somebody else. You don't need LeBaron Philon. Honestly, I would have picked somebody like a Cam Carr. Cam Carr is somebody that fell. Honestly, like I'm a Jazz fan. I would like to say I'm the biggest Jazz fan. I am the biggest Jazz fan. Um, I would have traded into this draft to draft Cam Carr. Like, call me crazy. I know he's a bit older in age. The athleticism is there. The reach is there. The finishing is there. The defense is there. I love LeBaron Fallon. He's also on the older side of the game. His ball handling is there. It's just one of those things, man. Call me crazy. It's just one of those things. Oh no, it says where they're coming from. Alan Graves out of Santa Clara. I'm sorry. Last player to come out of Santa Clara that was a baller that I can remember was Pods, no, and prior than that was J Dub, no, if I remember correctly. But at 23, the Atlanta Hawks end up selecting Zuby Ejiofor. Great pick out of St. John's. All these St. John's players, man. I think I think Julian Champagne went to St. John's. St. John's is able to produce players. Fun fact: I think J Cole went to St. John's. Shout out St. John's. Great pickup for the Atlanta Hawks. I think this is another one of those analytical picks. I think where the Atlanta Hawks are starting to become a little more analytical. Um, I don't think I really have anything much negative to say about Zuby Ejiofor. The only real thing that I'd have to say is just his age. He's getting up there in age, but I think the Hawks are getting to that stage where they're starting to become more. They want to start competing. It's just one of those things, man. Where like if Cam Carr is there, I'm taking Cam Carr. And we're gonna get to this man right here. But yeah, next pick of the draft, the New York Knicks end up selecting Cam Carr, but then it's traded to reportedly traded to the Lakers. Um, what? If you're the Knicks and you end up taking Cam Carr at 24, I'm keeping Cam. Call me crazy. I think the Lakers just ended up getting a baller, ended up getting a great defender next to Luca. And if you're the Knicks, you need that young talent. You need those small contracts. I don't know. I don't know. If I'm the Knicks, I'm gonna do everything in my power to reverse that trade, unless you're getting multiple picks back, like a first and 2 seconds or something like that. But even then, it's like I say, four quarters doesn't make a dollar, or like two dimes and a nickel doesn't make a quarter. I guess in this case. Next pick of the draft, Sergio De La Ria from Valencia gets reportedly traded to Dallas via New York. Um, 25 on the older side. He's a guard, 6'6". I'm not sure what they're doing with this pick. I'm gonna be real. He may be the net. He's 25. I don't know what Dallas is doing. Dallas, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're trying. I don't know what they're doing. Unless they're like, un- that's frustrating. I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful because I'm not too. I don't know too much on Sergio De La Ria. He's older. He's 25. He got traded to Dallas. I don't know. You just have to build around Cooper Flag, and it's one of those things where, like, if you're just not building around Cooper Flag and you're just trading for Sergio De La Ria, and you're not using your draft capital correctly, you're not going anywhere with Cooper Flag, and he's gonna end up leaving. Next pick of the draft, the Denver Nuggets ended up drafting Terrace Reed Jr., who was reportedly traded to San Antonio. Terrace Reed Jr., great prospect out of UConn. Love the coach out of UConn. They actually went on a they went on a two streak, but they were gonna go for three. Terrace Reed, great player. Not much to say, positive or negative. I think he's up there in age as well. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh, I'm a head ass. Sorry. Sergio De La Ria. He's 20 years old. I, I don't know what I was thinking. That's the round. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to think of Sergio De La Ria. Terrace Reed, great pick, great big. The Spurs need more bigs. A bit on the older side. He was a senior. Um, yeah, I can't be upset with the Spurs trying to get more bigs around Wemby. The Boston Celtics ended up picking Chris Sinak. I love this pick for them. Super young player. Coming into the draft like he was a lottery type talent. He just in Houston, you just have to be able to perform, and if you're not able to perform, you're just not gonna be able to get those good looks. Shout out to Kingston Flemings performing over there in Houston. It's hard to perform in Houston. Next pick of the draft. Going back to the Boston Celtics. I think that in Boston, he's gonna be able to be developed. I think that this is gonna be one of those steals of the draft, same as Cam Carr, same as these late 20s, Kareem Lopez, LeBaron Philon, Jaden Quainance, um, Joshua Jefferson, reportedly traded to Brooklyn. Drafted by Minnesota. Drafted by Minnesota, traded to Brooklyn. I mean, not much to say, or not much to say bad or positive. Um, Brooklyn seems like they're ready to start moving forward and start competing, but it's like one of those things where like I don't, me personally, I don't think that Mikel Brown Jr. is gonna help you start competing soon. And I think that if you did want to, I think Joshua Jefferson wasn't gonna be that pick for you. But Joshua Jefferson, great player, great analytical player. Alex Caravan, drafted by the Cavs, traded to Sacramento, reportedly. He was a great collegiate player. I think he won a couple of college NCAA titles. Shout out to him for winning those titles. Um, Great shooter. Going to Sacramento, gonna help out Sacramento, gonna help out Darius Acuff and those boys out there. I think that yeah, I don't know. I'm just not too big on Sacramento's front office and helping build around them. Last week of the draft, Dallas ends up picking up Kobe P. Kobe was one of the best. Funny enough, he was one of the best players out of college. He was traded to Phoenix via New York. It's one of those things where he just has a very old play style, you know. Um, his play style is one of those play styles where like he doesn't shoot the ball. He doesn't shoot. He doesn't have. He doesn't have a consistent, reliable three, consistent, reliable mid. He's gonna get back to the basket, and he's gonna yeah. And he's not like a center. He's more of a power forward, but he's not really a power forward because he's 6'7". It's one of those things. Like honestly, I had him falling far, maybe even going undrafted. Um, but that has it for the draft. For me, the biggest winners of the draft honestly have to go to, if the Lakers ended up getting Cam Carr at the Lakers, Chris Sanak, or the Boston Celtics picking up Chris Sanak. Um, I honestly I like what the Kings did. I like Alex Caravan, and I like Darius Acuff Jr. Of course, we gotta go with the top three. AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, and I'll throw Caleb Wilson in there too. The Chicago Bulls, I like what they did as well, with Dalen Swain and Caleb Wilson. The Dallas Mavericks, I think I would. I'm gonna wait on them. I don't like Kobe Pete in the NBA. Sergio Delara, I mean, we'll see. He might end up being like a JJ Barea, but I'm not sure. Um, oh, and then these are other winners for me. I traded to Memphis. Memphis winner. You got Kareem Lopez, and you also ended up getting Cam Boozer. Sixers ended up getting LeBaron Farland. I don't know if I should consider that a dub when Cam Carr was on the board. San Antonio ended up picking Jaden Acquaintance. That's a dub. Terrace Reed. That's another dub, if reportedly. Um, Oklahoma City ended up picking up Bennett Sturts and Ade Mara. That's another dub. Milwaukee. I'd consider them huge winners. Picking up Braden Burries and Nate Mann. But I don't know if I would have taken Braden Burries over Ade Mara. So let me take that back. I don't know if they're huge winners. I'm gonna just take them as winners. I'm gonna just take them as small winners. But that covers it, chat. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.